What up? My name is Jade Fox, and this is the Madeyoulooks channel. And today, this was a series that I was supposed to have started. And the thing about series is you gotta like make more than one. And yeah, I only made one. So I am going to have another addition to this series of just like fashion news, fashion roundup, things that are happening within the fashion world and pop culture, where they converge, that we can talk about and give our opinions on. Because honestly, like, didn't really have much to talk about until Pharrell popped out with Louis Vuitton. And then I heard some really interesting about Future and a new job that he's about to have. SHEIN hired influencers to basically cape for them and tell us that they're not doing things that we can literally see with our eyes. So yeah, those are three big stories that we're going to be getting into. Get a snack, get a beverage, because babe, like, I don't know if this is your lunch break right now or if you're decompressing before you gotta be somewhere. I want you to be settled for this, okay? Let's just go ahead and get Pharrell out the way. But by now, I would imagine that a lot of you have seen some of the looks from Pharrell's newest collection with Louis Vuitton as their creative director of menswear. To me, the collection was giving exactly what you would imagine a Pharrell collection with Louis Vuitton would give. It was very wearable, very commercial. I could see like certain people wearing these things. And I think that it definitely had its Pharrell stamp in the styling in particular, the use of the monogram. Pharrell is from Virginia. I'm from Virginia. And you saw the VA is for lovers, but kind of in the Louis Vuitton frame or the Louis Vuitton lens. You had like this kind of the Louis V logo mixed with, you know, the VA is for lovers, LV is for lovers type of vibe. Overall, I thought it was a good collection. And I think that it really spoke to Pharrell's strong suit as a creative director, someone who knows how to make things that are going to sell, someone who can present a very cohesive idea and create synergy amongst all of the moving parts that went into this show, from the music, the fact that he produced the damn song, had the choir there, which gave me ick, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. The music, the people that were there, the styling, the actual pieces themselves, just every part about it was just very Pharrell. And you could see Pharrell kind of like taking up a new space, which I appreciated. And so all that to say, I think the collection was good. But you know, where it lacked for me was in just the innovation. I think that it's really hard to look at this collection and not compare it to Virgil's influence within LV menswear, because one, we have two very like pivotal people within pop culture, within Black culture, that are kind of like merging this luxury theme along with just like Black culture and hip hop. I think they're both a part of like that resurgence within Louis Vuitton. But there was something kind of magical that was there with Virgil that isn't there with Pharrell. I want to say that that might have something to do with the lack of just like knowing how to make something. I think that there's like a meticulousness that can be behind how clothes lay on the body that streetwear doesn't always honor, because I think that streetwear is kind of like anti-fashion, or at least its origins are very like anti-fashion. You saw the limitations. Pharrell is great in collaboration. Pharrell is great amongst the team. I think that by looking at this show, by looking at all the pieces, by seeing how well everything worked together, by how cohesive everything was, I think that it shows that this man knows how to pull an idea together, and this man knows how to work with a team and utilize people's strengths. But ultimately, when it came to the final vision, I just wished it was a little bit more, or I wish it had a little bit more of that magic. But once again, still good. I think the things that I ended up wanting the most that I saw go down the runway were the bags, for show. We all know that Pharrell had a big influence on those bags within hip hop, with those bags within streetwear. And so to see it kind of reimagined in his 2023 creative mind was really cool to see. I thought that they looked really expensive, and I think that these are gonna just fly off the shelves, if they even make it to the damn shelves. Not to say that they won't go into production, but to say that like, baby, they gonna scoop them up. This next like little note is very small, but it's something that I've been seeing a lot, and seeing it on the runway made me feel like, I need to get this off my chest. There is something about the proliferation of cropped jackets and crop t-shirts and menswear right now that honestly, it's just fucking annoying. I feel like I go on TikTok every day. Someone is teaching me how to crop a t-shirt. It gave people another silhouette to work with that wasn't too ambitious, that wasn't too like challenging. But there's something about seeing it on the runway where I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like when there's something just very explore page about the fucking cropped tee/jacket and a little flare pant. I feel like I just see it so much that I really wish that like if Pharrell was going to do anything different with a silhouette or just like play around with body shapes, which he didn't really do either, which I was kind of surprised about. Like I'm surprised I didn't see any like plus size people. I think we're ready for something new. I think we're ready for something different. And I do think that he had those resources available to him to try that, but it just fell a little flat. My other note, hitting on the gospel thing, the gospel choirs, there is something very ick to me about when gospel choirs get added to an experience. Because in my opinion, this is just me, okay? It feels like a cheap way of making something feel more significantly Black than it is. Or like it's almost like a tactic that communicates indirectly that, hey, this is some Black shit that's going on right here. And so whenever I see all Black choirs being put on stages for performances behind like fucking Sam Smith or like, I don't know, like Tori Kelly or something, and then being put into like fashion shows, it just gives me, there's just something about it that gives me fake. There's something about it that gives me like, you're trying to bring a power to this environment. You're trying to bring like a cultural significance to this space. And instead of curating it within the art itself, it's almost like you're relying on the choir, the gospel choir, to bring that majesty like to the venue. Does anyone else get that? I don't know. There was something about it that was just like, I'm good on that. But otherwise, yeah, solid like 7 out of 10. Another artist who's making waves in the fashion world, Future. Yeah, girl, couldn't believe it myself either. Future has been appointed as creative director of Lanvin Labs, which is described in this day's digital article as, they describe it as a space to dream and play. Now, I want to make a comment really quickly on some of the vague language that's used within like these fashion spaces, like creative director. Because creative director can really mean anything. It can mean that you're a videographer. It can mean you're a photographer. It can mean you're a fashion designer. It can mean you're a tastemaker. It can mean that you're a stylist. It can mean that you're a graphic designer. Creative director basically just means that it is your job to help create the idea and make sure that it's executed well, essentially, with a team of people. And you are leading this team. And so I do think that a lot of the reason why, other than celebrity and money and just capitalism in general, I do think a lot of reason why like we tend to see a lot of celebrities in more traditionally like artistic jobs or like more skilled jobs is because they are allowed to underneath these labels. Like because a creative director is so many things, there's kind of like no one that can be counted out. So I understand why Future would be chosen. However, I don't fucking understand why Future will be chosen. But on the website, it says that Lanvin Lab has invited acclaimed Grammy-winning artist Future to design a collection celebrating a groundbreaking and individualistic vision that bridges the gap between music and fashion. Future is a visionary. Future is a visionary whose artistic influence extends beyond music and entertainment and resonates throughout broad swatches of contemporary culture today. He definitely has resonated and entertained a lot of broads. No shade to Lady Gaga, but what the fuck does she know about cameras? I feel like the fashion industry is taking like the rap snacks approach to marketing, where it's just like, let's get a rapping ass dude or a singing ass lady and put him on a bag of these chips. No shade to Future, but like, I don't necessarily know him for his fashions. I know him for putting out projects that are like 40 tracks long, but I don't know Let's look up some outfits that Future has worn to see to see if we can see what Lanvin is seeing. I mean, he looks nice here, but I feel like might have been styled for that. If I had to compare Future's style to anything, I would compare it to like a 2021 like Honda Accord. It's like, is it gonna do what it has to do? Sure. Is it gonna get you from point A to point B? Yeah. But does it turn heads necessarily? No. No. Is there anything like particularly special about it? No. Does it blend in? Yes. At the very least, I feel that the way that a celebrity dresses or the way that they present their fashion makes people excited for these collections. Like, I think that is a lot of the hype around Pharrell's collection. And so that is why I'm a little lost when it comes to Future, because there's got to be something going on. You know what I mean? There's got to be like a concept or like a styling or just something distinctive that's going to get the girls going. And I'm seeing in this article that they mention Erykah Badu for Marni. Erykah Badu's style is very distinct and it's very eccentric. And so I can understand how that pairing, even though I don't know how much fashion knowledge Miss Erykah has, we know that she's got a vision. And I think that's what's making this a little hard for me to like comprehend, is just because like I don't understand what Future's vision is within a fashion context. So I'm definitely gonna watch, but I feel like it's gonna be giving distressed moto skinny jeans and I don't know, flannel shackets. Like, and lastly, let's talk about this SHEIN business. So SHEIN decided to invite 6 influencers to come take a tour of one of their factories in China. What seems to me as part of a broader crisis management plan. People have been exposing SHEIN left and right, girl. SHEIN is one of the premier fast fashion stores that you can buy from. You can buy a whole outfit for $7 from SHEIN, and that is not okay. Like, that is not normal. My girlfriend's younger sister like exclusively shops at SHEIN just because it's so cheap. And so I think that SHEIN definitely has occupied the market when it comes to people who either can't or don't want to pay prices for higher quality garments. Another draw to SHEIN is that they do have sizing for larger people as well. I think they go up to like a 4X or something like that. It could be more. And so like there are reasons why SHEIN is as popular as it is, but the methods in which SHEIN is operating in order to get the vast quantities of clothing out into the world for as cheap as possible definitely comes with some unethical methods. America, we need to talk about why this was a dumbass idea from the beginning. Number one, how many factories does SHEIN actually have? It could be in the thousands. You're telling me that you're gonna have them come to one factory and that's just, like, did y'all really think y'all were gonna get the tea that you needed off of going to one factory, when I'm sure they completely prepped, cleaned, and did whatever they needed to do for that one factory for y'all to tour that one time? There was, I believe I read that like Channel 4 did an investigative piece on SHEIN. They had someone actually go into the factories, like posing as a worker and asking questions and seeing what the real tea was, seeing how people were working 13-hour plus long days, getting paid like 40 cents a garment. I saw that there were expectations of making 500 pieces a day. There's absolutely no way that on this one day that you got paid for, that this whole company or whoever was at that location anyway, at that factory, was not going to clean shop, girl. Also, my whole thing is like, no shade to these influencers, but what the fuck do they know about cameras? Like, you would think that you would want people that actually know about the economics of fast fashion, that maybe have done investigative work in these spaces before. Like inviting influencers from all over the US who don't have an in-depth knowledge of what is supposed to happen and what questions to ask beyond like conversations that are happening on TikTok. It's like, girl, what? It didn't make any sense to me. And then on top of that, now all of these girls are getting flamed online. And listen, I'm not trying to drag these girls, but it's just like poor decision making on both ends. Honestly, SHEIN and the influencers. And granted, they could have been told something completely different. They could have been told that they were going to, you know, have a much more immersive experience in what they actually did. But either way, you can't have some type of like crisis management situation. You can't have some like big PR reconciliation through people getting paid to fix it. If anything, I would pour those resources into the actual company to make the company better, to make the workers, make the conditions better, literally fix the ethical issues that are going on within the company, rather than paying influencers, low-key, no shade, I'm sorry, but like that don't really know shit to come to your factory to do what? I don't know how many of y'all out there are creators, but just be mindful of the collaborations that you make, because getting paid is great, getting treated well is great, but similar to, you know, when celebrity gets in hot water and then, you know, their Marvel deals, their Disney deals, their commercial deals, brand relationships that they have all get canceled because it now looks bad for that brand to be associated with them. Like, think about it like that. Like, before you take that deal, before you sign that contract, just think about it. Like, is this a brand that I feel won't fuck up? Is this a brand that I feel confidently is doing things ethically? Is this a brand that I'm going to have to be worried that I'm in collaboration with a year from now? Like, just because now these girls, now they are getting bad press. Now they are getting like the brunt of all of this stuff, and not SHEIN. But as I mentioned earlier, I think that this is something that's like on both ends. I think that one, it was just a dumbass idea on SHEIN's end. I don't think that it actually even accomplished anything that they wanted to accomplish at all. And I think it was a bad deal for the influencers. I don't think that it was smart. I don't think that it was smart to move forward with, because one, you are going to become the face of this brand now, and any issues or anything that happens is going to be on you because you are in support of this brand. Y'all are giving SHEIN glowing responses and reviews when you don't actually have like the knowledge it takes to even make that type of statement. Let me know about your opinions on Pharrell's new collab, or if you have any opinions on Future's future, or if you want to drag SHEIN like me. Let's all get together in the comments. And I'll see y'all very soon in another one. And do not forget, wear what you want, wear what you like, wear it out. Bye. All of my content is sponsored by my patrons, so thank you to my patrons for supporting my content. If you want to be down with the crew, it's only $5, but if you want the vlogs too, that's $10. So hit me with the 10, come through, and be part of the family.
How come you don't want
trucker hats, t-shirts, and sweatshirts? HillFoxClub.com.